Welcome to Think Property Club's Think Tank, where we connect, share, and learn the tips and hacks from our specialists. They become part of our A-team, supporting us to create the best developments in the property game.
So, hi, my name's Jason John Byron. I am the head mentor at Think Property Club. What we want to do is go through a bit of a podcast webinar with our students, and we also share this podcast out to the public, people that are interested in what we do. The main part about what we do is we make sure that we always are able to maximize the people that we use within our system to make the most amount of profit. So what does that mean is that we always surround ourselves with experts. And part of our journey and our success to turn ourselves from the mediocre person getting a wage and now having unlimited income through property development has been to utilize a system and a team. Now, the way that we do it is we have our system, and alongside that, we work with specialists. So I'm going to introduce you to someone that we've worked with for a very long time now, and that is a real key part of your success when you get into doing small property developments, because you've got to maximize your exposure out there to get your highest possible price, okay? So here we go. I'm going to introduce Hayden, our videographer. Hayden, are you there?
I am here. How is everybody?
Great. I'm good.
Thumbs ups and some
We got
nods.
some chat. Dorothy is here too. I love that.
Great name, Dorothy. That's the name of my daughter. So love it.
Great. So what I always like to start with is a bit of an example of your background and how you got into doing what you do. You know, I came from being a cameraman, is what I used to do. Funnily enough, Hayden,
you should be doing the webinar.
20 years doing it, and but I was filming sports.
Wonderful.
So it's pretty much just running up and down, people in the field every week, and outdoors in the cold, in the freezing cold, hands freezing around the camera lens, down at Campbelltown Oval. So it was not that fun being outdoor work, and I think your benefit is that you are also doing beautiful things, right?
Yes.
And it's more structured and indoor, a bit different from my job. But the main thing I want you to do is tell us a bit about your background, how you got into this, what you like doing, and a bit about the company you work for. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I'm Hayden. I've been working in the property industry now, wow, for 25 years. Can you believe it? My life is flashing before my eyes. So I've done everything from running high-end advertising agencies, looking after large property developments, whether they're master plan communities, small boutique high-rise developments. Then I actually moved into real estate for 8 years, where I was an agent with Place Estate Agent, a very highly awarded winning agent with Place Estate Agents up here in Brisbane. Enjoyed my time, but however, family pressures and a young family, I decided I need to win back my weekends, and Open to View came knocking because they were actually my preferred supplier for videography and photography, and I became their national business development manager. So I'm not actually a videographer. So I've been with Open to View for 5 years. We are the largest network of real estate marketing franchises. We have over 200 across Australia, New Zealand, in the world. So we turn over $30 to $40 million a year, and we work with over 3,000 real estate agencies daily, whether they're residential, commercial, developers, you name it. Anything to do with promoting property is what we do. And my role is as a sales trainer with the franchisees. I also sell franchisees, and I deal with all the large corporates such as Ray White, Lendlease, Jones Lang LaSalle, you name it. I'm at the coalface with them and trying to train and educate both commercial and residential agents how to optimize the profit or the sale of a vendor's listing. So that's my background.
That's great. And so as Open for View is that type of company, it probably means that you can do it all around all around Australia, right?
Yeah, we do. So we do it all over Australia. So I have a unique perspective where I can see where trends are, what's working in what different markets across Australia and New Zealand. In fact, I'm jumping on a plane tomorrow just to spend a week in regional Victoria. So with our franchisees and talking at the coalface to real estate agents as well. So I got
So
a
open
very, very,
purview, just want to
yes.
let everyone know this. What areas can you do in Australia and New Zealand, and what areas can't you do? Is there any
Uh,
area?
Well, we cover all of New Zealand. That's pretty easy. But Australia, obviously, because it's a continent essentially, we're all down the east coast.
Hmm.
We have pretty much coverage of all of Tasmania and Victoria, but all east coast, New South Wales, Queensland, and just Perth. Not all of West Australia. And unfortunately, we don't have a presence in Darwin. So if you know
What
anyone in
about
Darwin,
Adelaide?
oh, Adelaide. I always forget about Adelaide. Yes, we have.
We'll cut that bit out. So, as part of what's the most important thing about, what does open to view do better than anyone else, or where do you set yourself apart?
Well, we're really the only company with a one-stop solution, and that's our brand position. So what I mean by that is if you engage a real estate agent, or even if you choose to come to us directly, but predominantly it's through a real estate agent, we can do everything. Your signboard, your brochures. Actually, I'll just grab one here. Um, your little brochures at your open
Yep.
homes,
Yeah.
DLs, etc. You drop around the neighborhood, and we do all your photography, your aerial photography with drones, video. And I know this is all this session's about video, and it's critical, and it is something which we're very focused on right now, and I'll get into that a bit later. So we do video, we also do virtual tours as well, which obviously exploded
Yes.
during and post pandemic because the engagements with virtual tours on the listing portals such as Domain and realestate.com are phenomenal. People love to engage and immerse in virtual tours. So we do absolutely everything. There's
Yeah.
nothing we can't do.
What's the engagement on those 3D tours? So those are the ones where you have a map and it has little arrows and you can walk through and that type of
Yeah,
thing.
you sort of guide around with your mouse. They have what they call little matter tags, and you can click on there. They might have, Bosch appliances in the kitchen. You can click on it and it'll hyperlink you through to the Bosch website of that exact appliance. Very detailed. So engagements, and you've probably noticed, particularly we've been working very close with realestate.com. We're actually a preferred supplier of virtual tours. They're now shifting the virtual tour carousel before the photos because it increases engagements by 300%. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means you're going to get more inquiry. More inquiry means less days on market, means competition, particularly if you're going to auction, or even if it's private city treaty sale, it's going to drive competition, drive up the price, and it's going to help agents and talk to more potential sellers because all buyers are sellers as well. So we help real estate agents generate listings, and that is
And
one wonderful tool to use.
I always look at, especially as a property developer, the cost benefit. If I spend this much doing a balcony, how much more profit will I get out of it? How much more attraction will I get out of it? And the thing I hate the most is that when I'm going for a real estate listing and I go to click the video, and what do I get? I get the slide deck, the slideshow of the photos that I'm just going to click to next. I think
Yes.
it's almost become a thing where people get angry about it, for the
100.
cost of, what it is.
Yeah, and it's about being smart, about understanding your market. Who is the market you're trying to attract to that purchase? And even if they're, you know, uh, baby boomers, 60 plus, people have this misconception that they're not consumers of technology. In fact, that demographic is a big consumer of technology. So it's trying to understand what that market is. Like, do you need to have a video? Which I'll say yes to everything, but you know, applying that bits of technology in there to ensure that you're capturing that market and driving that competition.
Yeah, and then I suppose if you've got that video and you've done it for us, then we
Mm.
can also use it privately for our own social media, right?
100%. And this is where I want to change people's mindset who are listening today. You're probably used to seeing the 90-second production, the agent. Personally, when I was an agent, I didn't like getting in front of the camera because it's not about me, it's about the property. And some agents, they think they're comedians. I'm not a fan, but there's plenty of agents out there who are comedians. They get a lot of, they do very well. I don't know why. To me, I'm just interested in the property. But
Yes.
they're getting shorter. So even when I was onboarded as the national manager 5 years ago, it used to be 90-second, 120-second video productions, but now they're getting shorter and shorter and shorter. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 10 seconds. And the reason being, and you've touched on it, is social media. I mean, I was just on Twitter before listening to Elon Musk interview Donald Trump. There's 57 million people listening worldwide, which is record breaking. So what people need to understand, what agents need to understand, those traditional listing platforms such as realestate.com and Domain, which are really powerful and they're a good duopoly and they work, but 80%, 86% of Australians consume over 2 hours. It's terrifying. I'm guilty. Over 2 hours of social media every day. So you need to go where those eyeballs are. And you'll see show reels on YouTube, show reels on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, more so Facebook. They want 10-second, 20-second snippets because a lot of people might be passive buyers. They might know that they want to purchase a new property. If you take my example here right now, we're at the point where we need to renovate our house, but we love our house. But I think once we start getting quotes, there might be a trigger or something in the back of my mind where a house might be on the market around the corner. I see it through social media. I'm not actively looking. I go, oh, wow, that house looks interesting. And then all of a sudden we're in this purchasing cycle. So you've got to, and I'll be straight up, and this is the message I really want to drum home. If you're talking to a real estate agent, you need to be doing show reels, and they need to be promoting it through their social networks and your social networks to get traction in the market.
Yeah. And I suppose these days you do different options, right? The 10-second one, the 30-second one, and the 90-second one.
100%.
You have to do that whole rectangle and square and all those type of different ratios, the 9:16s. Do you supply that as a service? Or obviously you have one base package, and then do you do those other ones as well, offer that?
100%. And we added it all up with music, graphics, the whole lot, depending on the brief and what they're trying to achieve. We're also starting to see a real trend with particularly the real top, I'm talking the top 5% real estate agents, where they're now engaging us on a contract for a whole year where we follow them around for certain hours per week and capturing just them going their day-to-day business, what they're doing, and building their profile through their local market. And that's a significant investment from the agent because it's not vendor paid. It's an investment in their own business.
Yeah, great idea. Now, another question I've got for you here is you have the house, but then you've got the community around the area and the environment where they're living. So when you do your video standard, is it just a house, or do you also do what's the environment around the area, the school, the cafe, and all that type of stuff?
You're a genius. One of my key notes here is B-roll footage. And what I mean by B-roll footage is what's the lifestyle amenities. Okay, now I moved to this area, Tingalpa, in the inner east suburbs of Brisbane. I moved into this area because of catchments. I literally followed where the bus went for a really good private school nearby, and found the streets where the bus stops for my little daughter Dorothy, who I mentioned before, can come home and go to school safely and only walk 100 meters. And I track her on my iPhone, so I tracked it around there. But the agent who promoted this house had a video and they showcased the parklands nearby, transport amenities, the actual local schools, which were very good as well. There was a new shopping centre being built in Belmont with a Woolies Metro. Like, she has that B-roll footage, which he rolls into all her listing videos over time and updates it all the time. So absolutely essential you have that. I mean, if you're selling a coastal property, you don't want it to be all internal, external at the property. You want to have, visions of the beach, the cafes, all those amenities in there, because that's selling the complete picture.
Well, when we do our course, when we teach people about property development, I'm trying to teach them how to profit out of it. So what I say is, to be able to profit out of anything, you've got to ignore the areas which are the lower demand and try to focus on the areas that are the highest demand. So we don't be greedy in saying, okay, well, I'm going to go here because I like the place. We kind of do the opposite. And it really, I've been around doing this for 15 years now and always made profit, always done very, very well. And I kind of tried to figure out, well, what was it in my system that was different from every other person doing it and not doing so well? And it was just that we don't actually look for the property or the land first. We actually look for the targets. So we look for the Woolies, we look for the Coles, we look for the convenient areas. And so when I teach people about property development, I say, first off, you've got to find that convenience. And it sounds crazy because like people don't want to be around noisy, busy areas and that type of stuff, but it's just not true. When it comes down to, especially these days, I'm not going to get into the 15-minute cities and all that type of stuff, but let's stay away from that. But it is kind of like we don't want to be traveling too far to go down to our Woolworths or Coles. We don't want to be too far away from the cafes. We don't want to be too far away from the schools. We always will get an idea of a suburb, but sometimes we don't even know that that house is so close or so far away from a particular vantage point where it's more convenient. And so this is where I've found that when I see videos and I see those convenient factors, it almost makes me want to jump out of the car and go and see it. One of the real estate agents that we deal with in Brisbane, in Balimba, he was really interesting. He came and looked at one of our developments while it's being built, and we said, "Well, Anthony, why will this sell?" And he's like, "Because of this school, because of the cafe, because of this, because of that." And we're like, Anthony, we've invited you here to look at everything that we've done in our house. We've got this deck, we've got the bathroom, got everything. He's like, "Oh, Jason, I don't sell like that." I'm like,
well, it's true. I mean, the house we bought, we love it. It's tiny, but it was so convenient. And obviously, Tengelpa. I travel a lot. I can be tomorrow morning when I wake up and wake up at 5:30. I know I'm going to be at the terminal at 5:45. I'm sitting in the Virgin Lounge at the very latest at 6, having breakfast and a coffee, and I can stroll onto a plane. I want that convenience because that's my lifestyle, my particular lifestyle, and that's what you buy. That's what you buy, not necessarily the house.
So these are the top ticks in a video. So run us through the top 5 there. So we're going to have obviously the house, but do we have the hero shop, the bathrooms, the kitchens, the backyard? What's the most important thing from your experience? And then we'll move on to the other things.
Well, the kitchen is the heart of the house. So absolutely. The kitchen, every market's different. Like, again, I keep referencing this house, living in Brisbane, subtropical, even though it's horrendous weather here today. We live outside. Most of our living is outside. There's a big deck. So that was the hero shot from memory from that property because the kitchen fed out to the outside area. And that's where my wife and I and the kids spend most of our time. So, the kitchen, it's the soul of the house, the entertainment areas. I'd put bedrooms right down the bottom. The pool, the outside facilities, just all the entertainment, media room, all the entertaining areas would absolutely be.
So we got them. Then we move on to our attractions: food, cafes, schools, parks.
I'd put schools. I'd probably schools priority, but say arterial roads, like access in and out of the city, transportation, proximity to buses, rail, ferry. You name it, would definitely be up there. Absolutely.
Okay, and then what else?
Then the cafe lifestyle. Actually, before cafe lifestyle would be your Woolies, your Coles, your Aldi, all those facilities before that.
Okay,
Gymnasiums.
and then What about where you see, it looks like a little fly is going through the property, like the
Yeah.
fly view, like that type of thing. Is that a must now? I mean, if other people are doing it, or
Throwing a drone through a house.
well, it's not done with a drone, it's done with a steady cam. They go through, but
They
it kind of
can
goes whoop,
walk
and then you're in
throughs,
this
fly
room,
throughs.
whoop.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. We pump out heaps of them. They're a lot cheaper than a video. To be honest, if I was an agent again, I'd just be doing a quick fly through, like what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
And I'd be doing show reels, heaps of show reels. Like I'd probably generate 5 or 6 show reels for every listing, and I'd be pumping it through my socials, and I'd just have a fly through video, just cheap and cheerful, one walk through with some music,
Yeah.
and um, and then
And then
obviously,
you've got your bonus show reels that you can then spread out everywhere as well.
yes,
I didn't think of
yeah.
that. That's a great point.
That's what I'd be doing. That's what I'd be doing.
Okay.
And with that fly through, you can just tap on B-roll footage towards the end of the video or midway through the video.
Yeah. Now, being with a company like yourself, obviously, because you are a large company, you have a good reputation. Now, just because you call yourself a videographer, as I know, because I've been in the industry before I got into property
Yeah.
development, doesn't mean you're good. Doesn't mean
Uh,
that you're going to turn up on time, doesn't mean that you're going to edit on time, doesn't mean that you send someone else instead of the right person. So this is what I love about Open to View is that you're actually going to have people there that you've got to look after the reputation of them, right?
100%. I mean, most of our franchisees, their clients are repeat agents. So they might have an agent who's doing 1 to 4 listings a week and they're getting all that work. So they're only as strong as their last photo or their last video. But more importantly, and where we are very comprehensive and we've actually seen to be honest with you, we've got a bit of a shortfall right now with training with video because it's changing so quickly that we've got to be up with trends. Now, if I was to talk to you from a still photography perspective, I mean, only 2 years ago, everyone was into saturated images, saturated fake skies. Now it's all natural lighting. So we've retrained all our photographers, brought in the very best from around the world. Ryan Laheath, who's one of the world's best
Mm.
photographers, just did Rod Stewart's mega mansion in LA for $80 million. He's retrained all our guys about all the different techniques with aperture, exposure, all that sort of thing. But now we've identified video's just exploding. We think, okay, it's going to go to here, but it's going to there, and it's going to there, and it's going to there. So we're really grappling to keep up with it. I mean, we're producing world-class videos, but we could go another level. So you got to make sure your videographer is, they're up to date with editing trends, shooting trends, not producing 3-minute boring videos with agents on camera ruining the whole experience, making sure they're short and sharp, being able to boost it through their socials. Like that is where the trends are going. In fact, we've got an agent in Sydney, a top agent in Sydney now, a client of ours, who doesn't even do still photos anymore. It's just pure video.
Yeah,
That
yeah. One thing that I've noticed from being in the industry and seeing you learn after time what looks good and what doesn't look good. And you admire certain people, as you know. You always have like 2 or 3 people like, if this person does, it's going to look amazing,
yeah.
because it is an art. We forget about that. Being a photographer or doing videography, it is an art to it. And certain people will take pleasure in it. And it does come to a fact of how much have you done and how passionate are you about whatever you're filming. Um, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And it's also comes back to the editing process. It's where people forget about it, right? And what I've noticed is it's what you take out that makes a video good. I saw a video done not by you guys, by someone else, and it's a 3-story house, and in the middle they've got this winding staircase that goes up to the top. Quite nice, okay,
Mm.
well built, no problem. But he started the video off on this winding staircase that goes up. And then immediately the house is fantastic and it's not really that big a deal. But because they started it on that, the person would click into it, watch it, and they just see this and they go, I'm not even going to go have a look at this because the staircase, and then the job of the agent is to get them there.
Yes.
to get them there, and then they can experience. That's the hardest thing. The agent's got to get them there no matter what they can. So you've got to cut some stuff out.
Mm.
And if they just cut that staircase out, people would come there and see how magnificent the house is. But they're wondering why it's not selling. And I didn't have the heart to tell them. I'm not going to barge in there and say this, but
Well,
because I actually knew the person. But
that's why I sort of like show reels, because you're going to give samples and teasers of that property. So,
yeah.
uh,
And we had a few questions coming here from people,
okay.
just saying, first off, can you tell them exactly what is a show reel?
Show reel. So if you jump, I don't know if you got your screens open. Don't know if I should show you my Facebook. See here, these are
Yeah.
what you call show reels at the top of your screen.
Oh, so the actual show reels. So sometimes they call them
Yes.
stories, sometimes they call them different
Yeah.
things, but show reels. Yes. Okay.
And you can
Gotcha.
boost those through. I mean, these are showing people I
Yeah.
support and
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much a show reel. So if I go on to YouTube, for
Yeah.
example, I'm not really big on too many socials showing my demographic here, but
Yeah.
these shorts, and you get
Shorts.
Just
So
don't.
yeah.
Okay.
So a
Yeah.
show reel.
me. You can tell I like watching things about dolphins and sharks, but
So a show reel is the
it's
short
showing,
version.
that's where people are. That's where all the eyeballs are going now with regards
Gotcha.
to um, consuming social media, consuming media. So that's what they are, those little short snippet videos.
Okay, so they're called different things. They're called show reels. They're called stories. They're called
Oh,
shorts and all this. So basically, that's what you're trying to help them out to.
so yeah, that's show reels.
Yep. So with your company, you know what it is. You know how to do it. You can do the video for realestate.com.au or domain.com.au. That gets posted on there, whatever they need done there, and then bang, here's the show reels.
The main reason for a show reel, not necessarily you do all your traditional drones, virtual tours, your walkthrough videos, still videos with domain and realestate.com, but then you grab those show reels and through the agent's socials, they go into the back end of Facebook and they can boost it. They might be only targeting a few streets in the area. They might be targeting the eastern suburbs of a particular area, depending where they want to target, what demographics. It's all the analytics. This is the beauty about Facebook, Meta, and Instagram and TikTok is the analytics in there. You can really hone it down and start pushing those short ads into those people's households. If you're selling a property, like for example, I was involved in a brief with a property at Kira Beach. Anyone knows Kira Beach? It's a
Yep.
world famous surf break, the North Bank. The agent said a lot of our buyers are going to be retirees, ex-surfers who want to get down the beach. Can you make sure you get lots of B-roll footage on a good day, not when it's flat and choppy, but there's actually guys, doing some barrels down there. So we had to wait till the right weather conditions, get down there early, sunrise coming up over the ocean, guys paddling down waves, catching waves. Like you gotta,
We just use AI now.
yeah, it's not that good
AI,
yet,
Kira.
but it will be, and I'll be out of a job when that happens. But but yeah, it's all that detail.
Yeah. Now, coming from a cameraman's point of view, okay, you got to have the brief and do that, but you also have to trust the cameraman. So
Yes,
when the people get there, they'll normally have two people sometimes, or they might be on their own, but let them do their thing and make sure what are the things we need. We need the no, we need it, the house nice and clean.
yes,
It would be better for you to go through and open the doors or close those sheer blinds or whatever you need done and get it all ready. So when the person comes, often they'll do a sunset shot also. So they'll be there to do the main thing. Then they might wait a little bit later to do another shot. But the one thing that person doesn't need is you get the brief, go through it, and then leave them to work. Don't follow them around. Wait outside, let them do their work. That's what I would say. Sometimes I've seen shots of the person standing in the back of the mirror.
Worst thing you can do is hover around a videographer. They're going to snap at you.
Yes.
Just lay it out before they get there, like an email a day before, even just a quick brief at the beginning. Maybe even give them a bit of a few bullet points, a bit of paper, and let them go, because they, particularly with our guys, they're probably capturing 3 to 5 videos, different properties a day. So they pump this stuff out. They generally know what's required, but don't assume they're going to nail it without a brief. I can't stress it enough.
Good. That's fantastic. And don't ask for a go of their drone or the go of their camera, or ask them what lens are you using, or where's that camera any good. Just let them do their work. If you let them do their work, they can turn on their artistic brain. If you're the whole time kind of asking them about this or trying to do some idle chat, they wouldn't care if you didn't chat to them at all. The best thing is just let them go and do their work. Then afterwards say, okay, great. One thing you don't want is calling them back afterwards to say you forgot a shot of the doggy door or something like this. So that's the one thing which is a no-no in the industry.
Yeah. I mean,
it's going to cost you money.
We've got a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy, we'll go back and sort it out. But I can tell you that it's a lot of grinding teeth when we have to send them back. Not that it happens very often. But one point there you touched on before, sort of touched on lightly, like some houses are better at different times of the day. For example, my house really lights up around 3 o'clock for some reason with the lighting in the house. So, when I was selling property, that was one of the first questions I'd ask the owner. I said, what's the best time of day to capture your house? And they might say, well, actually 11 o'clock because the sun's in this position and it lights. Well, go and shoot the house at 11 o'clock. You don't necessarily have to do a twilight shoot or what have you. So work around what is best for that property, the time with the natural light, because photography and videography, as you're well aware, is all about light, all the lighting. So make sure you're aware of that with your property.
Yeah, great. All right, I think that's good. Anything more to go through with the slides there?
I think we've
anything you want to add in there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to set a budget. What can and can't afford, a timeline as well. If you've got a big budget and like I spoke about, you want to see it captured at sunrise, sunset, it's going to cost you a lot more money because time is money. That means the videographer has to be on site for a lot longer. So, have those discussions with them. What's your turnaround? When are you launching the house? I mean, we have a next day turnaround. Videos probably 48 hours, but still photography is always next day. So have those timelines. If you want to have a look at it and you're a week out, 2 weeks out, great. But don't expect a videographer to turn up that day and turn it around that afternoon. It just won't happen. So,
or it won't look good. If it's rushed, nothing will look good. Give a little bit of time. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we've pretty much covered it all. And I'll leave you with this. This was my great mentor of mine, Steve Hogwood. He was one of the great creative directors who I worked with for about 7 years. And I mentioned before, he used to drum it into me because I used to be the account director, and he would slap me across the wrist if I didn't nail a brief. And he said, you're only as good as the brief you get. So be good at giving briefs and you'll nail it.
Perfect. I love it. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on today, Hayden. I'm going to end it there. So Open to View what's the website for Open to View?
Yeah, just opentoview.com.
So nice and global.
Global. You can find content. It's got all the contact details of our 200 plus franchisees and what we do. And it's also a listing portal as well. So you can jump on there and see sort of work we're pumping out.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you.